Hello and welcome to the Grumpy Stew podcast. My name is Dylan. I am the Grumpy Stew, and you're listening to the podcast for flight attendants. This is episode 40-something, whatever the hell it is. I think it's, might be 42, could be 43, somewhere between 41 and 44, okay? And thanks for listening. As always, you can follow me on all of the Twitters. That's the Facebook, the Instagram, and the actual Twitter. Subscribe to the Grumpy Stew podcast on YouTube and like your favorite episodes for the love of God. But for your convenience, I created a website just for you grumps. And it is all one-stop shopping for everything Grumpy Stew. You're welcome. I did that for you. So just head on over to thegrumpystew.com. And today, I got some big news for you. We have a special guest on the show. It's our buddy Jetway Jesus. We'll be talking to him in just a moment. And later on in the program, I'll be telling you guys about an emergency landing I just had, so stay tuned for that. It's very exciting. But first, a message from our sponsor. In honor of our special guest today, we also have a sponsor for today's show. This episode of the Grumpy Stew podcast is brought to you by the Little Sisters of the Permanently Flatulent. That's right, the Little Sisters of the Permanently Flatulent runs an outreach program for those poor souls afflicted with especially bad farts. Do you have the kind of farts that could curl hair? Do you have the kind of farts that could cause an international incident? Do you have the kind of farts that could precipitate a small war? Then visit our friends at the Little Sisters of the Permanently Flatulent to get the help you need. Flatulent Sisters are standing by to take your call. Don't delay. Speak to the Little Sisters of the Permanently Flatulent today. Can I let you guys in on a little secret? I could trust you guys, right? Contrary to popular belief, I like people. I do. I like people. I just like people in small numbers and for very brief periods of time. That's all. Is that too much to ask? It's when people start clumping together and forming groups and hanging around for much longer than necessary, which is give or take 1 or 2 minutes. That's when I begin to feel uncomfortable. I start to have problems at that point. I'm sure you feel the same way, and probably for some of the same reasons. For example, we don't have time for other people's stupid bullshit. That's all. We don't have time for stupid bullshit. As if we don't get enough of putting up with overgrown toddlers with credit cards flipping out because they're asked to follow simple rules. But no, we also have to deal with stupid bullshit from our fellow stews. If there is any one principle you can use to guide your life, besides, the philosophy of fuck 'em, it's to not bore your fellow stews with stupid bullshit. No one cares about your second cousin's trip to the world's largest chest of drawers in North Carolina, okay? I speak for everyone on this. We don't care. Save that shit for your celebrating celibacy support group, okay? I'm sure they'd be enthralled. We don't care. Newsflash, Linda. We don't care about how much your cat loves his new plant-based litter. No one gives a fuck. You know who else doesn't have time for stupid bullshit? He's actually a pretty busy guy. Our buddy, Jetway Jesus. And he's here with me at the Grumpy Stew Studios. Jetway Jesus, welcome to the podcast. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Dylan. I don't get out too much, so I appreciate the invitation.
I figured you're pretty much everywhere.
Oh, I'm everywhere, but everywhere that happens to be a Jetway. Hence my name, Jetway Jesus.
I see. Well, Jetway Jesus, is there anything special about you that you'd like us to know?
Yeah, basically I subsist mainly on the ground-up crumbs from Goldfish Crackers and Cheerios.
Okay, that's interesting. Say, Jetway Jesus, tell us more about yourself. Were you really born in a manger?
What? No. You have me confused with a different fictional Jesus, okay? Yeah, I'm from Jersey. And before you ask, no, my mother was not a virgin, okay? Quite the opposite. Yeah, she was a hooker from Secaucus.
Okay. How about this? What about the miracles you've performed? Do you have any favorite miracles? Have you, for example, turned water into wine or multiplied loaves of bread to feed the multitudes?
Who have you been talking to? Have you been talking to Peter? That low-life son of a bitch. I'm gonna slap the shit out of that mother... No. I haven't talked to Peter. You sure? Yeah, totally. He got cast on some reality TV show, and ever since, he's been a total asshole. Oh, okay. You're looking a little twitchy over there, Jetway Jesus. Yeah, sorry about that. It's all of this domestic flying in the COVID era, you know? Yeah, I swear, I swear to fucking God, it's like every passenger has recently escaped from the zoo. You know what I mean? Tell me about it. It's like they've never been out in public before. Preach it, sister. If there was any evolutionary biologist out there listening to this, if you'd like to find the missing link, pretty sure he's flying to Vegas tomorrow in spirit. Okay, how about this, Jetway Jesus? Have you ever walked on water? No, but I did bang a couple of nuns poolside in Miami once. That count? Good enough for me. Yeah, so you got any more burning questions over there, Johnny? Dylan, whatever. Okay, well, tell us more about the Church of Jetway Jesus. Are there any apostles? What? No. The Church of Me isn't quite that elaborate, you know what I mean? I have a very small staff, actually. Funding isn't quite what it used to be, and I've had to let a few people go, you know? Oh, that's too bad. Yeah, these fucking kids these days, I tell you. I hate to sound like I'm begging here, but I haven't been able to go to the casino in a while, you know what I mean? You can send your tithes to me, Jetway Jesus, at thegrumpystew.com. Jetway Jesus, let's not try to panhandle the listeners just yet. Yeah, I'm sorry, okay? You know, come to think of it, I could use a drink. You got anything brown? I'm running low on whiskey, unfortunately. I haven't been able to, go to Ireland to get my favorite stuff due to COVID. Yes, the land of my people. You're Irish? No, I just like to day drink. Okay. I think that's going to do it for now. Thanks for stopping in. Jetway Jesus, everybody. Hey, I'm not done talking yet. I have more. Did I tell you about that time I got drunk in Wyoming and stuck my... Okay, that was Jetway Jesus. Thanks for stopping in, Jetway Jesus. Anyway, interestingly enough, today's sponsor, the Little Sisters of the Permanently Flatulent, they also run the home of the downtrodden. So, fun fact. Yeah, that kind of went off the rails there. Sorry about that. But hey, I was able to get like 6 fart jokes out of that segment, so that's something. So recently had a bit of excitement at the office towards the end of a trip. The last day of this trip was supposed to be fairly easy, and it never seems to end up that way when it's the last day of the trip. It was supposed to be Cincinnati down to Orlando, then back to base to finish the trip. Things got a little complicated due to a large storm over the southern part of Georgia that covered up North Florida and the Panhandle. Yeah, this is a flight that would normally take a little over an hour, and it was blocked to almost 3 hours because of that storm. We had to go around that storm. We had to go all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico, around Pensacola, and swing left over to Orlando. But didn't quite turn out that way, but you know what? I don't care. I'm paid by the minute. Fuck them. They want to pay me 3 hours a block to do an hour flight? Fine. I don't care. I didn't create the weather. Fuck them. Works out for me. Anyway, we couldn't have been in the air more than 30 minutes when Captain Cowboy calls, and he's all being, typical Southern asshole. He's all, feel how we're turning right? Yeah, we're 80 miles from Nashville. I'm like, okay, is this your way of saying we're diverting to Nashville? We have an engine problem. We'll be landing in about 20 minutes. I don't know why he sounds like George Bush. Anyway, so I'm like, okay, so this isn't a weather diversion. So let's do this the right way. We're trained the way we're trained to do it, okay? So we're diverting to Nashville due to an engine issue. We have 20 minutes. Do you expect a normal landing? And so he's like, yeah, it's a normal landing. 20 minutes, enough time, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's fine. 20 minutes is enough time. We can make it work. So, I notify my crew, make the announcements, do all the prep for the diversion. I gathered the crew up in the aft galley just to make sure they're okay and reassure them that it's supposed to be a normal landing. What we didn't know was by engine problem, Captain Cowboy meant we were flying on only one engine. It was a single engine landing.
first of my 10 years of doing this. Yeah, Captain Cowboy neglected to tell us that part until after we landed. Thank you so much. Anyway, it turns out a hydraulic pump went tits up and shot a bunch of, hydraulic oil and debris into the engine, which is no bueno. So that made for an interesting day at the office. Single engine landing. What can I tell you? Pay attention to your training because you never know. You just never know. And your experience could be like mine. And you're the one that has to do it by the book because Captain Cowboy is, playing it casual for whatever reason. We have these processes in place for a reason. And that reason is because they work. I don't want to harp on this or pontificate on it too much because, it is what it is. But Captain Cowboy was trying to cover his ass after we landed because he knew that call was recorded. And he's all, asking me if that call was clear. Is there something else I could have said differently? What do you think? And he wasn't like chewing me out or anything. It wasn't that. It was truly, he was trying to cover his ass. And I said it was clear that it wasn't just a normal diversion for weather or something. So that's why I repeated everything in the format we're trained to use. I got him back on track and covered his ass. And it's all part of CRM. It's all part of crew resource management. That's why we practice this shit so much in training. Anyway, we ended up hanging out in Nashville for like 6 hours or more because we cancel nothing. We don't cancel shit. We flew through hurricanes to avoid canceling flights. It's kind of crazy. But anyway, we're there for like 6 hours and the company sent us, they rounded up some barely legal pilots and ferried a plane up to us to come get us and the rest of the passengers, the ones that decided to stick around. Don't blame them for not sticking around after that landing. And then they had to reroute some other barely legal pilots just to fly us down to Orlando. It all worked out for me. I live in Orlando. And since I was no longer legal for my next trip, which was supposed to start the next day, I just stayed the fuck home. I got 2 extra days at home and the company paid for it. I call that a win. Plus, I didn't die, so I guess that's a good thing too. You've been listening to the Grumpy Stew podcast. It's kind of a short one, but hey, what can I tell you? No one listens to this shit anyway, so there you go. But if you are listening to this piece of shit, consider subscribing on YouTube and clicking like on all of your favorite episodes. And as always, you can follow everything Grumpy Stew from the interwebs, very conveniently at the grumpystew.com, or you can just follow me on the Twitter, the Facebook, and the Instagram. I'm on all the socials. And don't forget to say your prayers to our buddy Jetway Jesus. Apparently, he kind of needs them. Sounds like he's having a rough day. And you might as well throw a little good mojo towards the Little Sisters of the Permanently Flatulent while you're at it. Something tells me those people could use all the help they can get. Anyway, talk to you next time. Take care.